What's good, everyone? Vice here, back with another video, and today guys I wanted to talk about the Xbox Game Showcase. I had high expectations for this showcase because Xbox doesn't really have anything this year, like as far as first party games, so I thought that they'd really deliver on the front of, showing their first party content, because next year appears to be a really good year for them, and of course 2024 and onward is going to be really interesting because of the acquisitions that they've made over the past few years. So I was really excited, and this event was a pretty big disappointment. Like, I expected it to be at least an 8 out of 10 because of the amount of games that we know about, right? Because, like, let's be honest, like, Xbox has a lot of games in the works, and we've seen them over the past 2 years. Like, we know that Fable exists, we know that Avowed exists, we know that State of Decay 3 and a lot of other games are in the works, and the fact that we didn't really see much is kind of disappointing. So I want to start off with the things that I liked, and just from there just give my thoughts. So I really liked Redfall. At first, when I first saw it, like, it didn't really do much for me, but then I rewatched the trailer, and I really liked it. I will say I thought we'd get a release date because this game was supposed to come out this year, so the fact that we don't have a date is really surprising. So yeah, like, I was kind of shocked by that, but I thought it looked really cool. There were some issues that I had with it, but overall it looked really good. Next, Hollow Knight Silksong is coming day one to Game Pass. I know people love Hollow Knight, so that was a cool announcement. Riot Games coming to Game Pass, that was pretty cool. Forza Motorsport, that looked really good actually. Like, I'd honestly rather play that than GT7. Forza Hot Wheels, that was dope. Flintlock, which is this game made by the Ashen developers, that looked really cool. There's this indie game called The Last Case of Benedict Fox, that looked pretty dope as well. The indie titles really moved me. As far as the bigger, titles, Diablo 4 looked cool. And then, of course, Starfield. Honestly, Starfield didn't really do much for me. It looked like No Man's Sky with a AAA budget, which sounds good in theory, but it just didn't look ready. There was a lot of, like, I don't know, visually it looked good, but then at times it looked really bad. And the gunplay looked pretty fucking bad as well. So yeah, it didn't really move me, but I see the potential. I definitely see the potential, and Bethesda, when it comes to games like this, they don't really miss. So I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt and say that this game ends up being really good. But from what I saw, it just didn't really move me like I thought it would. But besides that, I mean, there were so many games that looked not bad, but just they didn't really move me, and I think that's the problem here. It's okay to have a lot of games at your show, but when a lot of these games, a lot of these games, I don't think they're exclusive. They're coming to Game Pass day one, a lot of them, I'm positive, but I'm sure you're going to be able to play these games on Steam, on your, PlayStation 5. So, and I get exclusives aren't everything, but when you buy all these studios, right? Because let's be honest, this was a Game Pass show. This wasn't an Xbox show. And I know that might sound, crazy to a lot of people, right? Xbox is Game Pass or whatever. When I think of an Xbox show, I want to see Xbox games. Perfect Dark is an example of, a game that we could have seen at this event. Like I said, Avowed. Like, the first party games, like these studios that they announced that they acquired years ago. I want to see more of what they're working on. Everwild, what happened to that? Like, so it's insane to me that they have so many studios, but they can't show at least a few more of their games. I mean, Hellblade 2, like, isn't that supposed to come out next year? Or, I know it didn't have a date, but we've been waiting on that for quite some time. Like, Hellblade 2 was announced before the Series X, or matter of fact, it was announced with the Series X at the Game Awards. So what is going on? Like, why didn't we see that? Why didn't we see Avowed? Why didn't we see, like, there's so many games that we could have seen at this event that make it a disappointment to me. The games that they shown weren't bad. They weren't bad, but man, like, this felt like Summer Game Fest. Like, I feel like a lot of these games could have been at Summer Game Fest, personally. And when I watch an Xbox show, when I watch a PlayStation show, when I watch a Nintendo show, I expect their games to be at the forefront. And I get it, a few years ago, Xbox didn't have the studios, but now they have the studios. So I don't get, like, you can't really give them that excuse anymore, because they have the studios and they have the titles in development. So why aren't they showing them? That's my biggest complaint. And I know a lot of people like this event. I don't understand how people can really love this event. I know it has something for everyone, but I mean, when you have 50 games, 2 of those games are going to appeal to someone. And it's like, it was a good advertisement for Game Pass. Like, that's all this show was. Good advertisement for Game Pass. No, it wasn't a good Xbox show. It wasn't. Like, I don't understand how anyone could think otherwise, personally. When they have so many studios, when they have so many titles in development, and they only showed a few. Redfall, Starfield, and Forza were the 3 like main games that I can remember from the conference. I mean, it was 50 games. Like, I can't remember all of them, but like, those were the 3 first-party titles that really, stuck out to me. I can't think of much more. I mean, Diablo, since they own Blizzard now, Diablo, Overwatch, I guess. Yeah, I don't get it. Like, I really don't get it. It's one of those things where we keep saying next year Xbox is going to look better. And they look better each year. But these shows, I mean, this wasn't a good Xbox show. I don't know. Like, at this point, I feel like Xbox is like the underdog, right? And they're making all these moves, and they're really catching up to Sony. And I think that's good. I feel like Xbox is, in the future, especially the near future, they're going to push Sony to do better, because Sony has been making, like, I don't like the way Sony has been moving recently. Some things are positive, but some things, I really don't like. And I feel like Xbox is going to push them to really, work a lot harder. And I'm glad, but at the same time, it's like, can Xbox do no wrong at this point? Because I'm thinking, like, how... It's hard for me to understand how someone could give this show like a really high rating. Now, some people, they just love all sorts of games, and I can understand that. But if you're an Xbox fan, I don't see how you could really enjoy this show, because they didn't really show you much of Xbox, especially the titles that people are really hyped for. Like, I don't know, man. I'm just rambling at this point. So, like, I just wanted to get my thoughts on this conference out. I gave it a 6 out of 10. I didn't think it was bad. I know a lot of people are going to, like, depending on who watches this, people aren't going to really like my opinion. But quite frankly, I didn't think the show was good. I thought it was pretty average. It was, a 6 out of 10. And I enjoyed the state of play more than this conference, if I'm being honest. The state of play was less than 30 minutes. And to me, it delivered just as much. Like Resident Evil 4, Street Fighter 6 gameplay, Final Fantasy 16, and we got like release years for all those games, right? Like even the indie stuff that they showed, like I enjoyed that more because there wasn't a lot of fat. I feel like this conference could have been way better, and people would have still liked it. Like they could have trimmed off a lot of this stuff. A lot of the stuff people say they really liked from this conference. If they took it out and replaced it with Avowed, with State of Decay 3, with Hellblade 2, with all these other games that they have in development, I think people wouldn't even notice. They wouldn't even care. So I don't know. I just really didn't like it. Well, I thought it was average. If I'm being objective, right? But for me, it wasn't very entertaining. Like 90 minutes was way too long. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it for me in this video. Let me know what you thought about the show in the comment section down below. I know a lot of people are going to disagree with my opinion, but I want to see, how you guys feel, and we can maybe debate about it in the comment section. So let me know what you guys think about this conference in the comment section down below. Leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you all in the future. Vice out. Peace.